Hi, it's Stephanie. Have you ever noticed how we get into these patterns in our relationships? And sometimes we don't even recognize it. The other morning, I got up, and I get up before my husband pretty much every day. And after I was done with my morning routine, I went downstairs to greet him, and he was so excited. He was bubbling over with excitement about having read about fasting the night before. And he said, Stephanie, this is going to totally reset my brain. I'm so excited. I'm doing this. I ate something just before midnight last night. I went to bed. I'm not going to eat again for 2 days. There's so much research about this. It's amazing. And this was the funny part, right? This was the really funny part. I felt kind of pissed because I thought, hey, what about me? That's the kind of thing that I do. That's my job in this relationship. I'm the one who comes down first thing in the morning, babbling like a crazy person about something I'm really excited about before you've had your morning coffee and you can't even hear me. That's my job. So funny, right? That was my initial response instead of being really happy and excited to greet his enthusiasm. So I reflected on that and recognized that this is a really amazing and powerful thing, and also finding a really interesting connection to some other insights and breakthroughs that I've been having. But something upset the pattern in our relationship. I think of this again because I was talking to a client of mine about her husband. And in fact, many of my clients of late have had relationships that seem to be a primary factor in their business success. This happens a lot. Maybe you can relate to this. So I was talking to her about her husband, and there is a difference in sexual desire between the two of them. And as we were talking about it, and by the way, I certainly don't mind talking about sex. It's kind of fun in whatever context. Anyway, so we're talking about that and how she might address it. And initially she was like, the problem is of course with her husband. Like, I'm going to have to talk to my husband about what he needs to do and how he needs to change. I suggested to her, think about yourself. What creates desire in you? What would you like? Rather than simply trying to pacify her husband. And she's a truly insightful, wise woman. I hadn't thought of that. And I bring these things up because relationships, right? They are where it all happens. And they create the friction that we need to grow. And so many times we miss the opportunities, and I am including myself in this, because we want to blame the other person. We want to fix the other person. And in fact, that inclination is perfect. It's not going to get us what we want, but it's a part of the whole experience that needs to happen until I recognize that the person staring at me is me. They are reflecting everything that I am doing. And I finally got this the other day. I finally got this because I think it's been my experience that in my relationship, my primary relationship with my husband, there are probably one or two things that we disagree on or are the source of fights repeatedly over the years. And I want to think that it's him. I want to think it's his problem. I want to blame him for it, right? But here's the frustrating thing about that. I can never, ever, ever do anything about him. I can't change him. I can't make him see things my way or understand why he's wrong and I'm right. That will never, ever happen. And as long as I'm trying to do that, I'm doomed to failure in resolving the conflict between us. And I finally got The problem isn't him at all. The problem is me. The problem is not me, but it's my thinking about him, my thinking about the conflict we're having. That's where the problem is. And I really got that. And it was like this tremendous weight was lifted finally, that I don't have to fix my husband. I don't have to change my husband. I don't need to do anything with that. I just need to work on me. I just need to figure out what it is that I want and what it is that I need and how I can create in myself what I'm wanting to see in him. So in relationships, think about that, those friction points, those things that you love about your significant other and those things that drive you crazy about your significant other. Those are the very things that you haven't owned in yourself yet. So if that was giving you a message, what would it be? How can you address that in yourself today? How can you give these things to yourself? How can you take responsibility for yourself in making that happen? It's so much more empowering. It's a big relief when you know you don't have to change anybody else for a change. Or your kids, right? Your kids, same thing. Yeah. Think about it.